can watch anime without subtitles, without the subs. It's like, woo, that's cool. Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. So if you saw that video on my YouTube channel about Asian markets, this is kind of like the extended edition of that video. So like I said in that video, I got introduced to Asian markets and also Studio Ghibli by my cousins. I had a YouTube channel with one of them, Top Hat Toast. If you've seen the Tunikito team and remember Toast, or way back when he was called Wabonstick, yeah, that was him. His family introduced me to Studio Ghibli and to Asian markets and to like bean buns. Super good. It's funny because like later I did a D&D campaign and I was a bard, but my weapon of choice was a frying pan because I was the cook for our party. And one time we were being held prisoner and I made bean buns to kind of soften up our captors and made some good friends of those ogres or trolls or whatever they were. Bean buns are magical. They're also a good projectile weapon. So yeah, like Asian markets and Asian culture are super cool. I think like in the video I talked about one thing that's super cool about them is that you can get something totally different every single time that you go to an Asian market. There's ramen, which everyone knows about, like ramen. There's like the packets and then like the little tubs. There's also soba noodles. There's rice. There's sodas, candies, weird chips, lots of different flavors of Lay's and Kit Kats. It's crazy how many Kit Kats there are in Japan. But like there's sometimes that I'm like, I wonder why I got into Asian culture. So just some like background on me. I had an uncle that served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Japan. And then he went back and moved there and then worked for, it was Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So he worked there for a while and then later on he ended up working for Disney and doing some really cool stuff. And later, like watching Studio Ghibli movies, I saw his name in the credits and I don't know, it just like inspired me. I'm like, wow, this is super cool. He's a super humble guy. He never like bragged about like what he was doing. He did all these amazing things and it inspired me to be like, wow, he's working for Disney and working in animation, and that's something that I want to go into. And I'm like, I can do this. I can go into that, and it's something that I can connect to. And I don't know, it just kind of all connects, like my love for animation and Asian markets and Chinese takeout and boba. It's just like they're things that have been with me for a while. Like my family, I kind of thought this was true across the board. Go get like Chinese takeout or have Chinese food or have hot pot or something for Chinese New Year. And that was my family. Like we had like Chinese takeout for, and we celebrated Chinese New Year in the best way that we could. And every like place that I've lived in, we've picked kind of a Chinese place that we go to as a family. And then one was owned by a friend of mine and that was super cool. So sadly, they don't own it anymore, but it was super cool having that experience and be able to connect with them. And I don't know, it inspired me to learn like Mandarin and learn Japanese, even though I haven't quite learned them yet. They're very difficult languages. It gave me like some motivation to be like, yeah, that'd be super cool to be able to communicate. The thing is with cultures, there's kind of like these barriers with language, and when you're able to spend the time to learn someone else's language, become fluent in that language, you can connect to them on a much deeper level because you've shown them that you care about their culture and you care about their language. Yeah, it's just super cool. And with Japanese, you can watch anime without subtitles, without the subs, and it's like, woo, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool how much my love for Asian culture and stuff has become a part of my life. It's inspired me to try out new foods. You guys may not know this, but I'm lactose intolerant, which basically means that my body does not produce lactase, which breaks down lactose, which is milk sugar, like lactose, like sucrose, fructose, it's sugar. So it's like the sugar in milk. And my body can't do that, so it causes a lot of pain. If you have any friends that are lactose intolerant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're lactose intolerant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's rough, but it kind of caused me to cook more in like the Asian cuisine realm, like cooking curries and stir fries and like buying ramen and making stir fries with that, or just cooking up ramen. It's really cool to try out new cultures, foods, and I don't know. I like trying new things. There aren't many foods that I don't like except for celery and radishes, and I've tried with celery. I haven't had many radishes, but anyways, I digress. Thank you guys so much for joining this podcast. If you have any animated movies that you want me to look over or talk about the animation styles or techniques, look development, world building, stuff like that, let me know down in the comments on YouTube or send me an email. Yeah, it would just be awesome to hear from you guys, and thank you so much for supporting me on this venture and this podcast. Thank you. See you guys next time. Peace. Also, now some super extra secret bonus content. I just realized there's more to record. I've kind of talked about it, but also with Asian culture and all of these experiences like Chinese takeout, going to Asian markets, stuff like that, it's impacted my storytelling as well. Like a lot of the stories that I'm working on have that kind of stuff. Like the friends will go out to an Asian market or to a Chinese restaurant, and it's just like it's kind of putting a little bit of me into that story. And I think it's really cool when authors and writers and showrunners and creators are able to do that and be like, hey, here's a piece of me and a piece of my life, and I'm putting that into this. And it's going to make an impact. It's going to connect with people. Like I talked about in an earlier podcast, is when you put in stuff that relates to you, it can relate to others. And they can be like, wow, that's super interesting. Like I did that as a kid, or like I'm doing that now as an adult. And it's like, wow, that's super cool that we have this in common. And it helps people to connect. Because like, you know, right now in this world, there's so many people trying to disconnect, and people trying to put up these walls, show that we're different. But there's so much in common with all of us. And as we see those things in common with all of us, we're able to really connect with each other more and be able to have friends all around the world. And just remember that like we're all brothers and sisters, and we're all in this together. We're all on this journey together. We're all in this party traveling. We have our different tactics and our different techniques and specialities and our weapons of choice. If yours is a frying pan or whatever it may be, we have those, and they can strengthen us, and they can help us, and they can help others. Our strengths can help others in their weaknesses. And yeah, that's just the quick thing I wanted to say here at the end. Thank you guys again so much. See you guys next Saturday, and see you guys next time once again.